People who hire or manage new mechanical engineers. What skills are most lacking in new or recent grads? If this is going to offend you to read, please don't. I'm looking for candid answers, regardless of what they are. If you hire new grads or supervise them, what skills do you find most lacking? I would prefer concrete answers, like they can't use Excel versus rants. They are so lazy. But I'll take either one. Literally be as specific as you want, even if it's just to the job you do or supervise. Like one piece of software that no one else uses, if that's really the answer. Bonus internet points if you tell me what a new grad in an interview could say that would make you think they're avoiding this problem if you hire them. I am about to be a new grad and want to get into your heads. I'm reading every comment. Keep them coming. The more perspectives, the better. Okay, this one was really cool. And this is one of those ones where I'm not going to... I'll react, but I'm actually going to go and read off the response because I think they're really helpful. So here we go. Here we go. Where is it? There it is. Okay, let me scroll through here and see if I can find any good ones. Here's one. Most employers will understand that you aren't going to know relevant technical skills. Entry-level positions are to learn those skills. It's easy enough to teach someone the most relevant job skills. What they often struggle with is soft skills, ability to clearly and concisely communicate technical info. True. Yes, definitely work on your soft skills and your ability to communicate things and also understand things. When things are told to you, I don't subscribe to the, if you tell them once, then you can't ask about it. If you ask once, don't ask again. I don't subscribe to that. But what I do subscribe to is respecting other people's time. So whenever somebody teaches you how to do something and you've learned it, or somebody's answered that one question for you, write it down. Build a Bible for yourself of things that you learned on the job. That way you don't have to keep on asking the same question over and over again. It'll help make you more respectful of other people's time. Other things are intellectual humility to first try things out, then asking questions, and using resources when you hit a wall. Again, yes, we got an engineering degree. We learn how to solve problems. So use that. Don't just always jump to asking questions over and over again. At least explore it and try. So that way, whenever you go to your manager and you say, hey, how do I do this? You're not saying, how did I do this? But, hey, I looked into this resource. I've done this thing, and I couldn't get it. Especially if the manager has pointed you towards a resource to go to first before coming to them with questions, try it. That's why you got the engineering degree, to solve problems. So don't just constantly pepper them with basic level questions that you didn't do any level of effort to try to solve them. How to work effectively on a team? Yes. Find your place in the team and try to find your way to contribute. Don't railroad conversations, don't railroad meetings, but also whenever you need to know, and when you're in a position where, hey, if you don't ask this question to the team or you don't clarify or make this point, then you're setting the team back. There's a balance there. Time management and understanding priorities. Another good one, something that a lot of engineers, it's just the nature of being a college student, is a lot of us procrastinate a lot. So the work environment, when you're working in this 8 to 5, or whatever work hours you're in, learning how to really be effective during those hours so that you're not grinding in the evening, it's a thing that new engineers sometimes struggle with. And then they go on to say, when we interview, we focus more on behavioral questions that help us tease out those traits. E.g., tell us about a time you encountered a technical problem you couldn't solve. How did you approach it? Yeah, that's great. And then somebody commented, want to stand out above the crowd? Be a problem solver first and a problem second. Exactly. Solve problems. Don't be the person that's constantly bringing problems and questions. But doesn't mean you just can't ask questions. It's a little bit of a line there. Here's another one. We added a writing test to our interview process just to assess technical communication. We give them a couple bullet points of information and ask them to write a paragraph. We aren't looking for a masterful writing, just trying to see if there's enough there to work with. Yeah. Practice your ability to write effective emails. And new grads come in and kind of watch the email chains go back and forth. One thing that I didn't even know is, like, if you put somebody in the to box, then they're supposed to respond. And if you put somebody in the carbon copy, then they're not expected to respond. Did not realize that email etiquette whenever I first started working. So learn your email etiquette. Also, generally a faux pas to use BCC, blind carbon copy. Learn that as well. Here's another one. Let's see if there's another one. Yeah, report writing skills, especially the ability to be precise, ability to extend knowledge or extrapolate. Like if you send somebody somewhere to, they go on to say, like if I told somebody to go inspect a site and give them a checklist, but when they got there something was on fire, they wouldn't write it down because it wasn't on the checklist. They might not notice the fire at all. Holy S, use your head. Don't just rely on rote learning. Exactly. Use your engineering skills to be able to understand that, hey, there might be other things I want to look for. That's a good one. Experience turning a wrench. Went back to school after 20 years after a software engineer, aghast at how many people in my mechanics and materials class didn't know basic tools. Disgusted at how few in my circuits lab could be taught to solder competently. That's an interesting one. What else? A couple more. One thing I tend to see is people jumping to solve a problem with a new idea, new design, or advanced engineering concepts without first taking the time to examine the simple solutions and see if the problem can be solved at a lower level, so to speak. For some people, it can be really hard to get them out of this. Yeah, and I think that engineering design programs kind of condition us to look for like the optimal prime solution and think like super big, but yeah, in the industry, sometimes it's a little bit more straightforward than that. So, good one. Also, lacking the ability to break down a very open-ended problem with no clear solution. It's a very different thought process than most coursework. Yeah, because in a lot of our coursework, we're trying to demonstrate our ability to emphasize this one principle, because we're learning about different principles and then we get tested about it. And then it's not until our final exams where it gets super open-ended in our design programs where we get super open-ended. So look at more opportunities to practice design. When you ask them to call somebody, they email instead, so a 5-minute item takes 2 days to resolve. Yeah, so practice your ability to call people on the phone. That's a good one. And one more. Let's see if we can get one more good one. I hire and manage mechanical engineers coming out of school. Honestly, self-confidence and time management. We have a lot on our plate as a firm, and we have to be smart with our time use and keep things going. It's easy to come out of school with the mindset of let me take as much time as I need to get it right, but we can't do that in the engineering world and make a profit. No profit means we go under as a business and everyone goes unemployed. Self-confidence is another. Give your best effort, and that's all that can be asked of you. Don't feel like you have to be perfect or superhuman and then get down on yourself that you're not. And that's something that I had to work on, and I still have to work on. When I make a mistake, don't just get super down. Learn how to make a mistake and just how to take it in stride and keep on moving and inspire confidence whenever you're working. It's makes you much more pleasant to be working with on a team, is the feedback that I've gotten personally. So yeah, inspire confidence. All right, so those are the responses. People who hire and manage new mechanical engineers. What skills are most lacking in recent grads? I think that applies to all disciplines of engineering. So I hope that y'all found those helpful. And again, as always, the links will be in the description if you want to see all the responses. I thought it was a really good one.
I'm not complaining. My thoughts get complicated. I cannot explain in lameness. Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries. Thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify. They put me on the station.